You didn't have to be so mean to Dale Jr.
I know.
You
What
just-
Junior do?
You just made like 75% of NASCAR mad by doing that. So hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Brad, and with me, as always, is John, and this is Race Car Spelled Backwards, episode 95.
You
John?
got it right.
Yeah, are you surprised by
I
that?
am. I'm very surprised.
Well, we've done so many tests. I mean, I was trying to think, like, in my head, like, don't screw this up. This is the real intro, not
Yeah.
the test intro.
I mean, we had to do 3 last tests before we actually finished.
We got a new mixer board, so,
Yeah.
and we've yet to get headphones for it.
Yeah.
We really need some headphones. Then we won't have to do all the tests. But, yeah, whatever. We'll
Yeah.
get it figured out. So it's Thursday. You know, we're like 2 days late on recording. I've been out of town. Next week, I think we should be back on our normal schedule, right?
I believe so.
Do you have anything planned?
Not next week. The week after that, I will be out of town the middle to the end of the week, so we could record
Tuesday.
maybe Tuesday.
Yeah. Well, that's our regular normal day is Tuesday. So
Yeah.
the goal is to get back into Tuesday recordings. We want to be one of the first podcasts you listen to,
Not
not
the last.
But, you know,
Oh, well.
we have so much to talk about today, or this week. I didn't want to put off recording a whole nother week.
Yeah, because then we'd have a lot to talk about next week.
And if you notice, we have a new backdrop
The red, white, and blue.
in honor of Brad Keselowski's win
Yep.
and his spotter, TJ Majors. Go Bills. I mean, this is Brad Keselowski week. So we're going to celebrate Brad all episode.
Yep.
Other news, let's see. The Cars Tour was rained out 2 nights in a row.
And then they just said, we'll do it some other time.
Whenever Marcus can figure out a way to put it in there on a budget, we'll do it.
Yeah.
But what sucks, too, because, like, in my opinion, that is the best racing of All-Star Week is the late models.
Oh, no, we before you left, we watched that one race. That was good racing.
Yeah, with Chris Rice was commentating.
Yeah.
From South Boston, Virginia, not South Boston, Boston.
Not Boston.
Yeah, not Boston, but South Boston, Virginia.
But yeah, car tour racing's great right now, and I honestly thought it. I mean, they like only race short tracks, but I thought they've got a better on track product than anything I've watched recently.
Well, when it comes to short tracks, they definitely have a better on track product than NASCAR.
That's not hard.
I mean, the Xfinity stuff's not bad.
No,
the truck stuff's almost unbearable now, just because they drive so bad.
Yeah,
it's like bumper cars. Wreck 'em Ralph.
Pretty much. Yeah, I think you could take just some off the lot Honda Civics and go run North Wilkes-Barre and have a better product than the Cup Series right now. So.
Well, they got this option tire they're going to be running at the All-Star, so we're going to see how that turns out.
Man, I hope it works.
It's the same rubber they use on the rain tire.
And we did talk about using sprinkle tires. So.
I mean, them sprinkle tires. Well, last year at North Wilkes-Barre, they started on rain tires, and the racing was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Then they put dry tires on, and everybody fell asleep.
Yep.
I mean, I was like, this is horrible.
Yeah, I didn't even finish that race.
It was bad, man. I really hope, really hope that we don't have the same product we had last year. Like, start on an option tire, racing really good, and then it goes to garbage.
Yeah.
Because then then that's going to ruin North Wilkes-Barre. We're going to end up losing North Wilkes-Barre as a racetrack.
After we just got it back.
Exactly. So, Shout out to Designs by Sydney. I saw Sydney put out a new Brad Keselowski win sticker. It looks
Oh,
great. Did you
I
get a
did
chance
not.
to see it?
I did not.
Well, if you don't know, she does custom stickers, custom logos. You know, if you need anything, she really cares about her customers. Designs by Sydney. Check her out. You won't regret it.
Yeah.
You'll like her work, right?
Yep. I mean, I got one of her stickers on my guitar case, so
Yep. We got a Ryan Blaney sticker hanging up on our air conditioner, actually.
yeah.
So we greatly appreciate Sydney. She supports the show. We support her. So make sure you check out Designs by Sydney. So let's get into racing hot takes, John. You ready?
Yep.
Got a lot to talk about. There's no reason to drag out the intro.
As we have.
Hey, we've done that time or two. So was Darlington a good race? Brad Keselowski won the race. I voted yes on the Jeff Gluck poll. The race had its moments of really good racing, especially after restarts.
Mm.
10, 15 laps, it was really good racing. Then it kind of got strung out, got a little boring,
Yeah.
but it still wasn't horrible.
No, I mean it was a good race day.
I really wish Jeff would add an okay. Like yes and no. It's hard because I voted yes because it had, I mean, the racing at the end with Brad and Chris and Tyler,
Yeah.
that was good racing. Then on restarts, you had good racing. The start of the race, you had good racing. After each stage, it was good. So, I mean,
right.
There was more good moments than not, but it wasn't, it wasn't a great race. And like, it was 92% said yes, it was a good race. 8% said no.
Which, I mean, I was kind of shocked by that.
Yeah, I don't think that's a good representation of it. Honestly, I think we need a meh button.
Yeah.
Just a meh, something in the middle.
We might touch on this later, but Denny said on his podcast, no one could pass, or at least he couldn't pass till they caught up to the pack, and that took about 30 to 40 laps, and then they could start passing.
It's the arrow. Like,
yeah,
we're on a short track. Arrows should not matter,
but it does.
I haven't listened to Denny's podcast yet.
It was a good podcast.
I'm sorry, Denny. Please forgive me. I'll get caught up. Don't worry. I was in Colorado. It's been a hectic week. I don't do good at 8,000 feet or above elevation, and really at 6,000 I struggled. So I'm just a Southern boy, man. I've grown up at like 700,000.
700,000.
Ooh, that would be bad. That's heaven.
Yeah.
But no, I mean I'm a little off. So
yeah.
So Brad Keselowski breaks his 110 race winless streak to get his first Cup victory since leaving Penske in the team that he now owns. What do you think?
I think it's pretty cool. I think it's my favorite one of the year, honestly.
I love his victory lap when he breaks out the flag.
The American flag.
It's just so nice to see some American pride, you know?
Yeah.
You don't see it as much as you used to. And thank you, Brad.
Yeah. Did you see after the race, his daughters? Took his daughters?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I think this was my favorite victory of the season so far. I mean, Reddick was had it for a minute with Michael Jordan, but Reddick, like he did during the race, he lost it. And now Brad's taking over the top spot. I mean, for me, it's like I was telling you earlier, it's kind of nostalgic, like, to see Brad win. Like, it just takes me back to I watched him win in the number 88 Navy car at Bristol one year, and he does a burnout all the way up the ramp into Victory Lane, because Victory Lane at Bristol's on top of that building.
Right.
So he's burning the tires down, going up the ramp onto it, and like he was driving for Junior Motorsports.
Yeah.
I mean, how can
I like Brad. We've seen him win at Talladega.
Yeah.
And that was a good race too.
He's the only Ford I ever pulled for and still pull for. So congratulations, Brad. Good job. It was nice to see your girls in Victory Lane with you. I mean, even TJ said it on Door Bumper Clear. It was just a family. It was a family win, you know?
Yeah.
And that was TJ's first ever win with Brad Keselowski in the Cup Series.
Wow.
And they're best friends, so it makes it even cooler, I think.
Yeah, it was just a cool win overall.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. So William Byron takes Truex and Blaney 3 wide, putting Blaney in the wall and ending his day. Do you think William Byron was in the wrong here?
I mean, it's hard. He raced. I mean, they were racing, and it just didn't turn out well, in my opinion. Like, it just ended Byron's day, or not Byron, Blaney's day, and it just happened.
What's crazy to me is how mad Blaney was over the
Oh, it was
radio.
so funny.
Then they get out of the car and they go talk to him, and he's like, "Oh, whatever."
I know. Denny was like Denny's intro clip for his podcast this week is him talking about Blaney, and he was like, Blaney is the definition, or something like it. Blaney is the definition of when you put the helmet on, start losing circulation. I just thought it was funny.
I mean, Dale Jr. has always said that as soon as you put that helmet on, a switch flips and you become a completely different person. So that is 100% Ryan Blaney. He is the maddest driver on the radio. But as soon as he gets out of the car, it's like, oh, no big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, in the car, he's like, I'm going to kill William Byron. I'm going to kill him. Like, I don't think you can say that anymore, but okay.
Yeah. Wrong time period, Blaney.
So I don't actually blame William Byron. I think William Byron made a move that wasn't going to stick.
Yeah.
But it could have.
There was a chance, so he took it.
I blame the car. This is the hardest car to pass in.
By far.
They're on a restart. It's time to go. I'm sure his crew, his spotter, somebody's in his ear going, all right, it's go time. Let's go. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Get her done. Something. And he went for it. I mean,
right.
You can only pass for 5 to 10 laps. So,
yeah. And Denny talks a lot about aero and passing on his podcast.
So Denny would probably agree with me that he had to take it.
Yeah.
You have to take your shot.
Oh, yeah.
And otherwise, you might not get the shot again.
Right. And that's pretty much what Denny said. I mean, when you listen to his podcast, he'll talk about how it's just hard to pass with these cars because of the way air dumps on to each other on the side draft on each car. And so, yeah. And he also mentioned that there were only about 8 to 10 laps where you could pass. So if you had an opportunity, whether it was small or not, you had to take it.
That's cool that Denny says there's like 8 to 10 laps you can pass, because as a fan watching it, it looked like there was 10 to 15 laps that you could pass, then nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest. I watched the race in the back seat of the car. We went on Sunday. We hiked up this mountain to this place called Hanging Lake. It's like 1.5 miles straight up. It's a little over 1,000 feet elevation gain from the bottom to the top.
Wow.
Took a little over 3 hours round trip to do the whole hike up and down. Down was like, boom. I mean, you're booking it down. But going up, it was rough. Coming down was way easier. And it's just rocky, but we got in the car and I watched the race, and like 1.5 hour drive back to the house. I watched the race then. So I did a lot of fast forwarding during those boring parts.
Through the 200 laps that they couldn't pass.
Yeah, it helps. Let me just say, it makes it a much better race when you can fast forward through the boring parts of the race. So,
yeah.
Tyler Reddick takes his shot and overdrives the car, getting into Chris Buescher, taking them both out of contention to win the race. Do you blame Reddick on this one?
I mean, I'm sure you've seen the interview of Buescher getting Reddick's face.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think Reddick knew when he went to slide up on Buescher that he wasn't going to make it. And if you watch, you can see Reddick kind of let off a little bit, and it was just too late. He was already loose. Buescher was trying to not get hit and ended up getting loose in the wall as well, and just ended both their days. It was Reddick's mistake, and he obviously admitted to that, but I don't know. That's my opinion. I think he messed up. I think it was his fault, but he tried, and
I think you got to make the move still.
Oh yeah, you do, because they're side by side, and that top lane is the dominant lane at Darlington, and so Reddick or Buescher goes down into the middle lane. And Reddick gets an opportunity with clean air to go on the top lane. He takes it. He gets a good exit out of the turn, and he's got an opportunity to slide up on to Buescher. Even though halfway through it, he realized it wasn't going to work, but that was his best shot to do it. Absolutely.
So for me, it's a yes and a no. I think that Tyler Reddick had to take his shot.
Yeah,
but I think it was a bad shot.
it was.
I think
Obviously.
going into it. But here's the thing, man. Chris Buescher was in the wall prior to the wreck. Like Chris Buescher was bouncing off the wall before Reddick got into him. When you watched him go into that turn, Buescher was already hitting the wall. Bug, sorry. Buescher was already hitting the wall when they went into that turn. So that's what gave Reddick the run he needed to give it a shot. It wasn't gonna. It's kind of like the William Byron move. It wasn't gonna hold. He couldn't make it work.
Right, but there's just so little time to actually pass, and there's 30 laps to go, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I was listening to Dale Jr. talk about it, and he said that he thinks if you asked Tyler Reddick, Tyler would have said maybe I should have waited, but with the aero push on these cars, I might not have got that shot again. So.
Right.
I personally think Tyler took his shot and it
didn't work out.
And honestly, I'm glad it didn't because
we got to
BK got to win.
Yeah.
Keselowski wasn't probably going to catch back up to him.
Oh no.
So
not without a caution or something.
But man, Buescher was driving the heck out of that car.
Oh, he was.
After last weekend's disappointment, so when he goes up to Reddick, I mean, I think Reddick diffused the whole situation by going, I'm sorry, that was my fault.
Yeah.
Because Buescher pushed him, and I don't think Buescher was going to swing on him, but Buescher was mad.
Oh, yeah.
And Reddick, when Reddick goes, I'm sorry, man, that was my fault. I'm sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
You could look in Buescher's face. He's like, I mean, he didn't know what to say. He didn't know how to respond to that. So I
think Buescher was expecting an altercation.
Well, Buescher said something during their conversation that really just explained the whole situation. He said, I don't have one of those.
Right.
I don't have a win sticker on my car.
Yeah.
That's why Buescher was so upset.
Oh, yeah.
I think if last week didn't happen and Buescher had a win, he would have been like Kyle Larson when he got out of the car and goes, oh, that's just good hard racing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, because he's got nothing to worry about. Reddick is in the playoffs. He's locked in.
Correct.
Buescher's not. I think he's 15 points above the cutoff line right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's still got a shot. I think Buescher might go out here and win the Coke 600.
I think he's racing with a vengeance right now.
I mean, Denny's going to be hard to beat at the Coke 600.
Yeah,
I think Toyota. It's going to either be a Gibbs car or a Hendrick car. But like I said, Toyota. I mean, Ford's come on strong at these mile and a halves here lately. Yeah. So nobody has the motivation to win
like Buescher.
Like Buescher does.
Yeah. I mean, Denny's 1-3. I think Larson's 1, 2, 3.
Larson's wrecked more than he's won, though.
Yeah. Larson's very checkers or wreckers.
So I saw somebody, Larson, is out in Indy right now practicing. And
right.
So the question was, is Kyle Larson the best driver to ever drive a car? Not just NASCAR, but a car, period. But for me, I don't think it is because Larson might be better than Jimmy Johnson.
No.
I think Larson will do better in Indy than Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah.
I think Larson gets a top 5. I would not be surprised to see Kyle Larson win the Indianapolis 500.
That'd be awesome. That would be awesome.
I think there's a real possibility of it. Those guys don't beat and bang.
Right.
So that aspect, it's not like when you come into Cup, when these guys like Shane Van Gisbergen.
SVG.
I was going to attempt to say it, I'm sure I messed it up, but when SVG came in, he had to deal with all the guys beating and banging on him.
Yeah.
And he still overcame it at Chicago, but that's because that's his specialty. But on these other tracks, he's having to learn to be a little more aggressive. When these road ringers come in from IMSA and stuff, Indy drivers, they're not used to it. So Kyle don't have to deal with that aspect of it, but Kyle is very much a checkers or wreckers kind of guy.
Yeah.
Sprint cars, you drive them on the edge of out of control, foot through the floorboard, wide open the whole time.
Yeah.
Cup cars, basically you're doing the same thing now. I mean, Butterbean said it on the door bumper
QVC.
clear that anybody can drive a car wide open. I don't think Kyle falls into that category, but I think Kyle he's got to work on his racecraft. Like you have to. I know with the new point system, you just win and you're in, and then you don't have to worry about running consistently until the playoffs.
Yeah.
But he's going to have to get consistent at least by the time he gets to the playoffs. You can't just go out here. If he wrecks one race in the playoffs, if you wreck, you're just about out.
Yeah, it's
You
bad.
might get one mulligan if he's got enough wins going into it.
Right.
So, and maybe that's his thing. Maybe it is. I'll run it wide open, get 6-7 wins a season, then I can wreck once or twice in the playoffs and still make it to the Final Four.
Yeah, and I guess we'll see when playoffs comes around.
But I don't think Kyle's the best driver to ever do it. Not yet.
No, he could be.
He's still young, man. He's
Right.
got time to build his racecraft.
Yeah, so I mean, he's definitely good though.
But as far as Indy goes, what is your prediction? Where do you think he'll finish at? You don't have to give me a hard number. Like I said, top 5 or a win.
I'm gonna go with 6th.
6th?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna go 6.
I think when you went with 6, I went with top 5. I picked 5. You picked 1. I'm gonna go with 4th.
4th.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go with 4th. I think he finishes. I could see him winning it though, but I'll go with 4th because there's some heavy hitters in the Indy 500. So
yeah,
I'm gonna go with 4th though. We'll see how it goes next week. We'll be talking about where he qualified at because I mean this weekend is All-Star Weekend. The weekend after is the biggest day in motorsports. We have Monaco for breakfast, Coke 600 for dinner, and for lunch you get the Indianapolis 500.
I mean, what more could you ask for?
I wonder if it would be possible to do the triple.
Do all 3.
I wonder if you could run Monaco, get on a jet, somehow make it to Indy, run the Indy 500. I know you can make it from the 500 to the 600.
Right.
That reminds me of something else, something stupid I saw on TV. They're talking about Jimmy Johnson doing the double next year.
What? He can barely run a cup race.
He's not doing the double. He's announcing it. He's doing the double as an announcer. The first time in history. That's so stupid. I just
wow. He's talking.
Yeah,
I mean,
are you really hurting for headlines that bad?
I know, right? I mean, yeah, cool. Yeah, he's announcing both races.
I think he's announcing the Indy 500 and then running the Coke 600. I think is what they said.
Oh, okay. So. Like
that's what I'm saying. Hey, guess what, guys? I'm doing the double. I'm going to do the triple. I'm going to be the first podcaster to do the triple. I'm going to watch Monaco. I'm going to watch the Indy 500. Get this, and then I'm going to watch the Coke 600. I'm doing the triple, first ever. It's never happened before by a podcaster.
Yeah,
I'm Matt DiBenedetto in it. I am claiming to be the first of the first.
Yeah.
Just like Matt DiBenedetto claimed to be the first Christian to ever drive a race car. I'm going to be the first to watch all 3.
Now, if you did have someone race in all 3,
I'll have a favorite driver in all 3. Does that count?
Yeah,
I'm going to do all 3 on PlayStation.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know, because you got to think about it. F1 is crazy when it comes to the talent and the training and preparation you need for that. So getting someone to be able to just to run an F1. I mean, I think if you have someone who can run an F1, they can do all 3. Because, I mean, F1 and Indy, I assume, are pretty similar-ish.
Well, I mean, you go from doing probably one of the hardest road courses out there at Monaco.
Right.
I mean, it doesn't look like Monaco don't look wide enough for one car.
Right.
Much less 2. And then you're going to go to Indy, which is a square shape. And then you go to Charlotte, which is a cookie cutter oval.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. I think if you have someone who can run in an F1, I think they can do all 3.
What about Daniel Ricciardo?
I mean, you could do it.
I think Daniel could do it.
Yeah, I think he could do it.
Lewis Hamilton. I think he's another one who could probably do it. But Daniel's he ran in, I think he's run a NASCAR race, if I'm not mistaken.
No, I don't know this.
I'm not 100% on that. So, Brandon, you'll have to correct me. And I know you will. but I'm pretty sure Daniel Ricciardo is running a NASCAR race.
Yeah.
So it's feasible. We could see it. I don't know if he's run Indy, but I'm sure Brandon knows that as well. So Brandon is like our Bob Pockers. He likes to tell me when I'm wrong. He used to always really tell me when I'm wrong. Now he's a little more gentle about it. But
we're giving you permission.
Oh, I greatly appreciate it. By all means, please correct me because I like to say I'm always right, but I'm not. And I know this. My wife tells me.
But what do we got next?
Shout out Junior Motorsports and Justin Allgaier on their win Saturday at Darlington.
Oh, yeah.
He's another one of my favorite guys to see win a race.
Yep.
I love watching a veteran like Allgaier win and climbs through his roof hatch. I mean, it's another family victory. He loves his daughter. He loves his wife. I mean, it's
a good one to watch.
He's very much my favorite Junior Motorsports driver. And I think he's going to retire eventually. David Reagan. I mean, not David Reagan. Whew. Regan Smith.
Okay, I was like, who are we talking about?
Regan Smith drove the number 7 prior to Allgaier. And he was like that KG veteran, too, that could just dominate.
Yeah.
And I loved watching Regan in that number 7 just go out and dominate. And when he left, I'd be honest, man, I was really kind of tore up about it. I did not like it when he retired. And then Justin came in. I mean, Justin had run in the Cup Series some, but he just never found that right car, right team, and the success. Then he comes to Junior Motorsports and he dominates, yeah. So I love Justin Allgaier, my favorite Xfinity driver. I don't know who's going to replace him. Probably Corey LaJoie if I had to throw out a wild guess, but you know, I think that would be a good fit for Junior Motorsports.
Yeah.
To replace the number 7 driver. But I don't know that Justin's retiring. I haven't heard that or anything like that. So truck race was a typical truck race. Dean Thompson not wanting to let us down. He decided to drive outside his talent level and take out the top runners, including Corey Heim.
Yep.
What was he thinking?
He wasn't.
You don't think he was?
No, I don't think he was.
He got out of the car. So Dean gets out of the car and he's all frustrated. And he's like,
these cars are so hard to drive.
Yeah. I mean,
or you just can't drive them.
30 other people didn't seem to have a problem with it.
Yeah.
Like, dude, here's the thing. When it comes to race cars and drivers, you got a talent level. And you got to know your max.
Yeah.
When you go over that max,
you wreck the best.
Yeah. And that's what Dean did. And then to get out and
complain about it.
Yeah, like you want to blame the Corey Heim, like this is arguably the best truck driver in the series right now.
Yeah.
And you're gonna be like, oh, it was Corey's fault. He was crowding me. No, he wasn't. He had a faster car for one. Yeah. Corey shouldn't have been back there, but
he had a faster car and he's a better driver.
He knows his talent level.
Yeah.
He knows
way above yours.
He knows the zone to stay in. When you're up there bumping up against the top of it and you fly out of it, this is what happens.
Yeah.
I did not like his response at all.
No.
Like, just own it. He should have got out like Tyler Reddick.
Yeah.
Said, I screwed up. I made a mistake. That's racing. And you know what? I would have very much respected that. But to get out and be like, these cars are so hard to drive. Corey was crowding me. Dude, quit crying. Go cry to somebody who cares.
Yeah.
None of the fans care. Ross Chastain. Chastain. You like that?
Ross Chastain.
Ross Chastain wins the truck race and does another TV interview with a stupid watermelon seed hanging out of his beard.
It's old.
Oh, I am so over the watermelon thing. Like, quit smashing them. You're not Gallagher. I mean, he doesn't get out of the car and thank his fans and barely thanks his sponsors. All he talks about is his watermelon farm. Down in South Florida at my watermelon farm, Mom and Daddy are down there farming today. I got a seed right here on my face. And every interview he does is with that stupid watermelon seed on his face.
I wouldn't mind the watermelon smash. Okay, that's it's cool. It's his thing. Whatever. But yeah, I mean, that's all he talks about.
Stop eating it. I mean, you're eating a nasty watermelon off a nasty track. I mean,
oh yeah. Let's not eat it. Let's just say, okay, I smash a watermelon every time I want to race, and keep it at that. Let's just keep it there,
or at least wipe your face. Maybe, I hate to put this on Regan, but maybe Regan just should reach out and just flip the seat off. You got poor Ross Chastain with seed in his face. You got Brad Keselowski's mascara had run all down his face after the win. I really felt bad for him. I don't know what kind of costume party he went to the night before, but not judging. To each is his own.
We love you, Brad.
So NASCAR announced today that they were going back to Phoenix in 2025 for championship weekend.
Yay.
I'm really starting to think NASCAR is run by the government with the decisions they're making.
You think Phoenix is paying them?
And paying them off like a lobbyist?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do, actually. That's the only thing that makes sense. I mean, according to Jordan Bianchi, we're going back to Phoenix again because they do such a great job advertising that baggage claim at the airport. Like, if there's ever been a reason to go to a NASCAR track that sucks like Phoenix, it's baggage claim advertising.
Yeah.
I mean, I just went through baggage claim yesterday, and it's like there was no NASCAR advertising for the upcoming Atlanta race.
No. But
at Phoenix, apparently they advertised championship weekend. So,
I mean,
good on them.
I mean, you got to give it to the Phoenix crowd, though.
But it only holds like 40,000 people.
That's true. So it's not hard to make it look packed.
Homestead would hold a lot more than that. Atlanta would hold a lot more than that. Darlington would hold more than that. But the whole back straightaway at Darlington, I don't know if you noticed it, but they sold it to sponsors. So it's not but banners.
Yeah, I know, right?
There's like seats with banners over them. So that's telling me your short track product might not be as great as you think it is.
Yeah.
If you can't sell it out.
You're selling your seats to sponsors.
Yeah. It's all about the money.
Yeah. And I think that's why they're still in Phoenix for 2025.
I will say thank you to Jeff Gluck for standing up for the fans and not taking the NASCAR shoveled crap they're feeding us about Phoenix.
Yeah.
And Jeff's like, but it's not a good race. And Jordan's like, but they advertise so well at the airport, Jeff.
Who cares?
Jeff's like, but the racing sucks, Jordan. And Jordan's like, but the airport, Jeff, it's all about the airport, Jeff. They have to have good advertising at the airport, Jeff.
Yeah.
And then the city council of Homestead, they're working with the government, and they're going to bribe NASCAR by giving them a tax break to come back in 2026. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what Jordan said.
Yeah.
And, King Jordan, he knows everything.
Apparently, but
he advertises. He's probably advertising something at the airport too.
Yeah. But I agree with Jeff. The racing sucks. It's such a lackluster track to have our championship race at. Nothing happens at Phoenix.
No, and that's the thing. It's our championship race.
Yeah. So championship, guys. Oh, nothing happened. Nothing goes on.
You gotta have. I think.
Can we just race at Kansas?
Yeah.
Just go back to Kansas.
I think we should run the last 10 races of the season at Kansas. Let's just run the whole playoffs at Kansas.
Yeah.
I mean, anything, not Phoenix. And honestly, Homestead in this car is not the greatest.
No.
It's definitely better than Phoenix.
Yeah.
But it's not Kansas.
No.
It's not Charlotte. Honestly, Darlington put on a better race, in my opinion, than Phoenix.
Oh, absolutely. Because Darlington actually has interesting moments, only if it is for 8 laps and on restarts. But
maybe we can go to Richmond.
No,
Texas. Let's get all the worst tracks in NASCAR and let's run our championship race there.
Gosh, that's like saying, let's go to Martinsville and run our championship race.
But I bet you they have good advertising at the airport. I can't get over that. Like, that can't be your only reason Jordan.
I know.
Come on, man. Your only reason for going to Phoenix is they're advertising that baggage claim.
Yeah. No.
And it's he says they promote the event better in the city, and I believe they probably do.
Yeah.
I mean, what else are they going to promote in Phoenix? Meth? Like, I've been through Arizona. It's sketchy.
Yeah, there's not a lot there.
You don't want to live there.
No. But,
well, I don't know. You might. I don't. But.
No, I don't. But, yeah, I think it could be they're being paid more, like Phoenix, because I mean it's what they do with like other championships in sports, like the Super Bowl. They pay them. The city or the state pays them to help host it.
Yeah, I mean, and I get it. I understand it's a money thing. I hate that it's our final race to crown a champion, and it comes down to how much money these billionaires can make.
Right. And, you know, Denny talks about this, but, he says it's going to be really hard for us to get our sport back to like an actual where, it's more about the racing than it is the money, because all these people for however many decades who are getting all this money, they don't want to take a pay cut. They're not going to want to take a pay cut to make better racing.
I agree.
And so he said we've pushed this so far to where now it's going to be really hard to backtrack.
I don't disagree with Denny on that. Actually, I agree 1,000%. I think Denny, that is the truest statement made in our sport right now.
You should really go listen to Denny's podcast.
The guys at the top are getting fat and rich, and the guys at the bottom driving the cars are getting.
Oh yeah, Denny doesn't want to go run the All-Star race.
Oh, at all?
No, he doesn't want to race it. He's like it.
I wish he wouldn't, but he has to because of the charter deal.
Yeah, but yeah, he really doesn't want to go race it. He's like it's run its course. It doesn't pay enough for the drivers. I don't want to go.
No, so let's just talk. Let's skip around. Let's talk about that because it's $1 million prize to win the All-Star race. I saw a thing. I want to say it was either Adam Stern or Matthew Weaver on Twitter. It might not have been either one of them, but for some reason I feel like it was one of them. They were talking about $1 million today. With inflation, is really $600,000.
Yeah.
When you win the PGA tournament, it is $3.6 million or something to win.
Right.
Like if the billionaires of NASCAR and SMI aren't going to chip in a little more money to make the All-Star race financially worth it. I mean, come on. $1 million is not what it used to be.
No, it's 20 years ago. Whoa, okay.
It was $1 million 20 years ago. Like that's the problem. In 2000, it was $1 million to win the All-Star race. Before that, even.
Yeah.
It hasn't changed. Like,
and it needs to. We all know how bad inflation is right now.
Yeah. You can barely buy a gallon of milk with the winnings of the All-Star race. Like, you can't even get eggs with that.
Yeah.
You're not even eating at Waffle House. You're at IHOP. I mean, it's horrible, man. Like,
yeah.
I think that, like you said, though, the guys at the top are so used to making all the money and not caring about the little minions at the bottom.
They
really don't care about the fans.
No, that's obvious.
I don't know, man. I think I'm really, like I told Brandon earlier, I'm starting not to care anymore. Like, Jamie's already there. He can care less. I'm getting the point where I don't care. It's like the more I care, nothing changes.
Like, I think what it's going to come down to at this point, we're going to have to wait till someone gets up there in the higher ups that actually cares about the racing, because none of them do right now.
Dale Jr. needs to become the president of NASCAR.
Oh my gosh, could you imagine that?
He could fix it.
Could you imagine Dale Jr. being the president of NASCAR? That would be incredible.
Look at the Cars Tour. Like 5 years ago, you couldn't name a late model stock driver in the Cars Tour.
Oh, no.
Now you got Butterbean, you got Quaffle. I mean, you got McCarty. You got drivers that you can name. I mean, Landon Huffman. There's drivers that I know these guys' names because I watch them run on Flow every week.
Yeah. No, that's what I think it's going to take for someone who actually cares about the racing to get into the higher ups of NASCAR before something actually changes. Because it's obvious the higher ups right now just care about the money.
Well, the product you're putting on the track, guys, sucks.
Yes.
The cars are not that good. But don't worry, NASCAR has been working with TNT, and they've announced a 5-race bracket-style tournament similar to the one that Denny and Dirty Mo Media did last year.
Similar?
It's exactly the same, except last year the fans put their brackets together, and they made a big deal for the fans. This year it's top 30 drivers down to one over 5 races. So, I honestly, I think it's kind of neat. It's another $1 million with inflation, $600,000 prize, but I think it'll be really good for TNT. That'll be, they're just coming.
Something.
Yeah, they're just coming in. You're gonna have 5 races on Prime, Amazon Prime, and then you're gonna have 5 races on TNT. The great Dale Jr. will be announcing it, and I think it's cool. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of like the bracket thing.
Yeah.
I did it when Denny did it last year. He'll do it again this year. I did the bracket. I filled my bracket out. The website was a little hard to navigate, so I really didn't. Once I filled it out, I kind of quit paying attention to it. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
I'd have been better off printing it out on paper and then keeping track of it that way. Which Denny and Dirty Mo Media are going to do the brackets again this year, so I might print it out and try to follow along that way because the website was just too hard for me to follow, and
Yeah.
I kind of gave up. So if you're listening, Dirty Mo, maybe you can fix your website a little bit,
Yeah.
make it a little more fan friendly. Let's say that. But what do you think about the tournament?
I don't know. It's just kind of whatever for me. Like, I don't care that it's there, and I don't. Yeah, I don't think it takes away from anything. But for me personally, I mean, it adds something for 5 races, I guess. But I think it'll be interesting. I'll give it a shot.
I really think NASCAR should be focusing on fixing their car and not coming up with more gimmicks, though.
Yeah.
Like every week we complain about the car, and every week NASCAR's like, "Oh, we cut the grass over here this time. Look at the grass. We're dyeing it blue."
We complain about the car. Hey guys, look, we're doing a bracket now. Look at this.
Oh, the car sucks. Look, we took a pylon down.
Yeah.
Like it's just distractions. Like you're trying to distract us from the real problem, which maybe that's the problem. You're distracted from the real problem.
Or maybe they just don't want to address it.
Yeah, well, Fox is canceling Race Hub this year. Starting this summer, they will no longer be on TV. I really hate it for all the guys and girls who work for Race Hub, the camera crews, the producers, all those people that are involved with it.
Yeah.
I hate it for them.
But as far as the show goes,
I could care less.
Yeah, I never watched it.
Have you ever watched it?
No.
So the only time I watch Race Hub is when we get home from church on Sunday and we finish lunch early, and like there's nothing to do before the race. So I'll turn Race Hub on and I'll watch the pre-race Race Hub, and then I'll watch pre-race, which to me pre-race is a complete waste of time. Every driver they talk to on pre-race says the same thing. Oh, we have a good blah, blah, blah Chevy this week. Bill's Barbecue's got us a great Chevy this week or whatever. It's the same crap. Post-race is where they should be. We should have an hour-long. Give me a 15-minute pre-race and a 45-minute post-race. Well, I'm happy.
I like that idea. Let's do that. Because, post-race makes so much more sense.
It makes way more sense. And then, but Race Hub, I hate to see us lose a nightly network TV show because, I mean, NFL's got its daily shows. Yeah. Major League Baseball has their own channel. They have their daily shows. I mean, I don't know if NBA does or not, but all these sports have their shows that come on nightly. Right. NASCAR no longer will. But we have weekly podcasts. We have Dirty Mo Media. We have Kevin Harvick's Happy Hour. We have this show. I mean, you've got tons of podcasts, The Teardown. All these podcasts, kind of, in my opinion, you get better quality information.
And I think that's why it's being canceled, because you've got more people doing better than Race Hub.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'll be honest, I talked to Brandon, and he said the same thing. He doesn't have time to watch Race Hub because he's listening to all these podcasts. And we greatly appreciate all of you listening to us or watching our show on YouTube and not Race Hub. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
But like I said, again, I hate it for all the guys and girls on Race Hub, but without it, I'm not missing anything. So Michael McDowell announced last week that he will be leaving Front Row Motorsports and going to Spire Racing next season. Thoughts?
I mean, I think I don't really pay too much attention to where drivers are going unless it's like HMS or something like that. But I mean, I think it's cool for him.
It's got to be the money. So pretty much Front Row Motorsports is rumored to be a top tier team. I mean, honestly, they look like they're a top tier Ford team this year, the way Gilligan and Michael McDowell drive.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to go to Spire and run as well as he does now. So it has to be the money. Spire's rumored to pay really good for what they want. So it's got to be the money. and he's been on like a 1-year deal. Every year it's like a 1-year extension with Front Row. If they're not going to commit to Michael, then why should he commit to them?
Right.
Spire apparently committed and gave him a multi-year deal. Yeah. But, we talked earlier a little bit about Corey LaJoie, and sorry, Janet, but I think Corey should be worried. Not that Corey's not a great guy. I truly like Corey LaJoie. I think he's a great person. I met him, super nice guy. I've seen how he's interacted with his super fan, Janet. He remembers her from race to race. I mean, that's
really good.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. Like I said, I think Corey's a great guy. It has nothing to do with his personality or him as a person, but the results just haven't been there.
Right. So
I think Corey should be worried. I think Michael McDowell can come in and be the leader of that team. And then Hocevar, I mean, he's only getting better.
Right. So he's on the rise.
Zane Smith, I don't even know where he finishes at every week.
No.
He's not really on anybody's radar.
Nope.
But I think that, like I said, I think Corey LaJoie would make a great replacement for Justin Allgaier in the number 7 at Junior Motorsports. Dale, if you're listening, just throwing it out there.
I guarantee you it's not something they've already discussed.
Oh, I'm sure they probably have. I think they might have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I really believe it might have been a discussion, because why would Corey not want to go drive for Junior Motorsports in the number 7 and have an opportunity to win every single weekend? And Corey's got the talent.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He just has bad luck. And Spire's not going to be a top-tier Chevy team ever. I mean, it's HMS is going to hold the top reins for Chevy for as long as HMS is there.
Yeah.
Trackhouse is probably going to be second.
Yeah.
Just the money.
Yeah.
It's all about the money. We've discussed that numerous times now. So Amazon Prime has announced a 4-part docu-series on Dale Earnhardt Sr. Did you see that?
I did see that.
What do you think?
That is pretty cool. I hope they do it right.
What do you mean?
Like, I hope they do it justice.
Oh, yeah. Me too. I think they will. Like, honestly, I've never seen a bad Dale Earnhardt documentary. I'll go ahead and tell you I'm going to cry. I hope I don't cry all 4 episodes, but I probably will. I mean, I haven't watched a documentary that shows Dale Earnhardt's death at Daytona without crying. I mean, the year Dale Jr. retired, I think I cried all season. When they did Budweiser did a tribute to Dale Jr., it was like a 3-minute video they put on social media. I mean, I was like a basket case, man. It was horrible. So anytime the Earnhardt family quits or dies, I cry. So
you've got some people saying, when are we going to put the Dale Earnhardt thing to rest? When are we going to stop? When are we just going to let it be? And just, he's been gone for over 20 years. There's some people saying, when are we going to let it die?
You know what I say to those people?
What do you say?
Don't watch. Then you've let it die. You've let it move on. You've let it go if you don't watch. But for people like me, I want to see it. I want all the Dale Earnhardt content I can possibly get.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as too much Dale Earnhardt, whether it's senior or junior.
Right.
You can't have too much. So I think this is phenomenal. I really like this move by Amazon Prime because this is their first year in NASCAR.
And they're doing Dale Earnhardt.
Yeah, and this just builds credibility with the largest fan base out there.
Right, especially if it's good. If it's really good.
Well, Dale Jr. is going to have a part in it.
So, I mean, how can it not be?
Exactly. I just don't think Dale Jr. is not going to put out something that's not good when it comes to his dad and his life.
Right.
Because this is going to have a lot with Dale Jr. is going to – I mean, the picture they show advertising it's Dale Sr. and Dale Jr.
Yeah.
Like, it's I think I've seen some stuff that Prime's done before in the past. They do a good job.
Yeah. Like, they're not like Netflix.
No. And I'm excited about Amazon Prime coming into the sport. I know a lot of people out there are complaining. They're like, we're going to need the CW, YouTube TV, Amazon, TNT. I mean, you're going to need so many different things to watch NASCAR. Okay. What's new? The NFL, same way. You need Peacock. You need Prime. I mean, they do Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime. phenomenal. They do it. Honestly, I think some of the best NFL football games are on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
I absolutely cannot wait to see what they do in NASCAR.
Yeah. That'll be better than Fox.
It has to be. I mean, it has to be. So, speaking of Dale Earnhardt.
Oh, here we go. This is.
I did not even hear about this. You pointed this out. So,
this is my subject.
Teresa Earnhardt has not renewed the trademark on the number 8.
Man, I wish I didn't bring that up to you yesterday. I mentioned that yesterday. You should have seen his face.
She did renew the number 1 back in November. I don't know what she's thinking here. You'd think she'd pick up the phone and call Junior and be like, I'm not going to renew it. You can have it. Because that's what it seems like she's doing. It's almost like she's extending the olive branch. You know, I've been an evil person towards you for 20 years now. I'm going to extend the olive branch and give you the 8.
Now, we still do have like 3 weeks that she can start the process.
I mean, if she does it now, she will truly be the Wicked Witch of the South. Truly.
She will.
She's got to be the most hated person in NASCAR. I mean, hated. She won't let Dale Jr. into the Deerhead shop.
Yeah.
She won't let him into the warehouse that has his stuff in it from his wins. Yeah. She won't let him have any of it.
It is.
She sued Kerry Earnhardt for using the Earnhardt name.
That's his name.
That's his last name, lady.
His last name.
It'd be like me suing you. Like, you can't use the Carden last name.
Yeah.
I'm suing you. You can't use that.
No, I mean, yeah. So, she started the renewal process for the number 1 back in November. It took 6 months for that to get approved. It got approved like sometime last week, or 2 weeks ago, something like that. Nothing on the number 8. Now, wonder why she would do the number 1 Trackhouse. She does. They're still racing. They're still in NASCAR. I think it has something to do with the fact that they're still in NASCAR, and she, still doesn't like them.
Nobody cares. It's the number 1. We don't care. Nobody cares about. You can keep the 1, Teresa. If it makes you feel evil, you go ahead and continue keeping the 1.
But please do not. Let us have the 8 back.
Can you imagine the throwback schemes that Dale Jr. can run when he goes to Bristol to run his Xfinity race? Can you imagine the scheme he could use with the number 8?
Oh my! And the merch with that as well.
Oh man, the merch!
I'd have to get me something.
Dale could put his number 8 on his cars again.
Yeah,
it would just warm my heart. I'd be so happy.
I would too. I would love to see that number 8 back.
I mean, I wouldn't hate Teresa as much as I do.
Yeah.
I mean, I would like her or dislike her just a tad bit less, but
yeah,
she's still. I don't understand what her deal is, but whatever. She can go pound sand. It don't matter. I don't really care.
And now she's in quite the position because, like you said, if she starts the renewal process now,
oh yeah, it's going to be on.
Oh man,
fans are going to just. I mean, nobody knows where she's not like in the public eye or anything anymore. She's just raking in the money off Dale Earnhardt souvenirs.
Right.
Whatever. I mean, go for it. You were married to the man. I'm sure it was tough on you losing your husband. I don't minimize that any. I get it. That was not easy, but you didn't have to be so mean to Dale Jr.
I know. What did Junior do?
You just made like 75% of NASCAR mad by doing that. So if she starts the process tomorrow, it would be pretty rough.
It's going to be quite the storm on social media.
So silly season is currently in full swing, nice and early this season.
Oh, yeah.
So let's go through some of these rumors and just give our opinion on them. So Stewart-Haas Racing is rumored to be selling 2 or 4 charters. The biggest rumor that's going around right now that I've heard is that they're selling all 4 charters and keeping their Xfinity team. Trackhouse is going to pick up 2 charters, and Front Row is going to pick up 2 charters. And Stewart-Haas will stick with Xfinity only. What do you think?
I mean, Stewart-Haas isn't, they're never going to be a top Cup team.
They were.
Yeah, but not.
Kevin Harvick won a championship there.
Right, but these days?
I think they're starting to come back. This doesn't shock me. I
It doesn't
think
shock me.
I think NASCAR and Tony Stewart have feuded for a while now.
Oh, absolutely.
Ever since they took the truck race away from Eldora, Tony put a lot of money in Eldora to get that truck race there.
Yeah.
And they pulled that truck race from Eldora and basically just crapped all over Tony Stewart and said, "We hate you. You suck. Bye-bye."
Yeah.
Tony's heart's not in it no more.
Mm-mm.
I think Tony's heart is in track ownership, his NHRA team. He loves drag race. You can see it in his eyes. Like his whole face and demeanor just lights up when he talks about drag racing.
Yeah.
He absolutely loves it. It's so obvious. And it's just not there with NASCAR anymore.
No, NASCAR pushed him away.
Haas doesn't. I mean, that dude's got more money than NASCAR, so he could care less either way.
Yeah, he can do whatever.
I hate to see a team go away.
Yeah.
I hate to see. I mean, he's got some good drivers there. I don't know where they're going to go. Noah Gragson obviously is probably going to end up somewhere. It's rumored a lot of Cup teams are talking to him right now. So
yeah,
like maybe Noah takes one of the charters from SHR and goes to Trackhouse. Honestly, I think that would be a pretty good fit. Like just their attitude and personality at Trackhouse and Noah.
Yeah,
I can see that. I can see that being a really good fit.
I can see that too.
Another rumor: Harrison Burton is out of the 21 at Woods Brothers, being replaced by Briscoe.
Okay.
Good for Briscoe.
Yeah.
I really like Chase Briscoe. Harrison Burton has done nothing.
I was about to say, who? Harrison who?
Exactly. Cole Custer's rumored to be going to the number 34 that Michael McDowell's leaving at Front Row Motorsports.
I think that's great for him. Cole Custer, unlike McDowell. Well, McDowell's like 40 or something.
Yeah,
he's getting up there.
He's like me. We're starting to hurt in the mornings.
Yeah, and Cole Custer has more of his career ahead of him, and with the direction Spire's been going.
Yeah, I mean Spire,
not Spire.
Front Row.
Yeah, Front Row. Sorry,
So for me,
McDowell going to Spire.
For me, I think it's great, and I don't know when I said it, but I said it on this show many, many, many episodes ago to Jamie. That Cole Custer and Austin Cindric will never flourish until they get out from under Daddy. Cole Custer's dad works for Haas. He's a big wig at Haas Automation.
Yeah.
So Cole's going to have a ride with. If Stuart Haas has a car, Cole's going to have a ride there. Austin Cindric's daddy is I think he's the president of Penske or something like that.
Yeah.
So of course he's going to have a ride there. I mean, they could say that has nothing to do with it, but okay.
We know. We're not stupid.
Yeah. I think you put Cole Custer in that 34. He don't have Daddy looking over his shoulder anymore. I think he steps up. Yeah. And I think Cole's a phenomenal driver, guys. Like Cole can do it.
Right.
So I think it's a great move.
And with the direction Front Row's going, like we said earlier, they have a real good shot of being one of the top teams.
Yeah, a top-tier team.
Yeah, a top-tier team. And so then put Cole in a top-tier car and a top-tier team, he's got a real shot.
So the other rumor, Trackhouse and Colleague are rumored to be merging this year.
Yeah.
It's another team we'd be losing, but it's not a surprising move. I mean, I've heard a lot of rumors that Colleague is having financial issues.
Who talks, at the end of a race, who talks about, well, the Colleague team did really good this week?
Nobody.
Exactly.
I mean, AJ Allmendinger, when he drives for Colleague, he runs decent at road courses. But this season, honestly, Colleague has not been a factor in either series.
No.
And like I said, it's whatever team that company Matt Colleague owns. I've heard they're having some issues there. So maybe all that rolls over into the race team.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. So not a surprise. But like, if they're merging, what happens to that charter, I wonder? If they're going to get 2 charters from Stuart Haas.
Does Trackhouse just get 3?
Well, they're not going to have 5.
Right.
If Trackhouse has 2 charters now, and they get 2 from Stuart Haas, that's 4. And then they merge with Colleague, they can't have 5. So
is that like they can't have like NASCAR?
Maybe they lease them. I don't think you can have 5 drivers. Like Jack Roush would have had like 15 back in the day, and NASCAR put a cap on it. So I don't know if that's still in place or not, but I would assume it is. So I don't know. Maybe that puts that whole charter rumor of 4 charters at Stewart Haas going around. Maybe that changes that a little bit.
Yeah.
But no, I'm not surprised by any of these rumors. I'm sure there's a lot more we haven't discussed, but these are the only ones that are out in the open. They haven't released the full schedule. I do know Atlanta is going to be run in June now.
Yeah.
It'll be a night race in June.
What are your thoughts?
I live here.
Yeah.
And I don't want to walk outside to get in my car at night in June.
Yeah. A night race is not going to help it at all.
No, there's no way you want to sit in the stands at Atlanta Motor Speedway at night in the race in June.
No.
I mean, Daytona in July was hard. Me, my wife, my mother-in-law, and my father-in-law, we witnessed Greg Biffle win the Coke 400 or Firecracker 400 or whatever it was called back in the day. And we went to the racetrack. We were staying in a hotel down the street. We get a ride to the racetrack. We walk around for 15 minutes. We melt. We almost die. We get back in the car and go sit in the hotel till night. And then it was bearable at night, but you had the wind blowing in off the ocean. I don't know if anybody has ever looked at Atlanta on the map. There's no ocean to blow wind.
No.
It's just hot, muggy, humid, and miserable.
It sucks.
There's no happy thoughts there.
I guarantee you there's going to be a lot of people from around here that are not showing up because we know that it's going to suck.
We had a night race in the middle of the summer in July. Was it 2 years ago?
Something like that.
And that was pretty hot.
Yeah. I mean,
we had a day race in the middle of July last year. I mean, me and you went.
Yeah, it was.
And it was hot.
It was hot.
Really hot.
Yeah, it was. But yeah, I mean, it's something in June. It's something like
they're calling it the fall race. They're like, the fall Atlanta race is going to be run in June.
That's not fall, guys.
That's not even fall in Alaska yet.
Yeah, we're not even
Antarctica, maybe.
We're in the middle of summer right now. But no, like it's something like 78 at night with 110% humidity. And no breeze. There's no breeze.
Yeah, I mean it's like you walk outside, you sweat, and you die.
Yeah.
It's not like Texas heat where you walk outside and die. You are outside, sweat, then die.
Yeah.
So no, I don't like it. I think it's a horrible move. But I don't run NASCAR. If I did, it would not be as bad as it is right now. I mean, I'm just saying. So you got anything else on hot race takes?
No, I think we covered a lot this week.
Yeah, we had a whole lot to talk about. So yeah. So coming up this weekend, we do have the North Wilkesboro All-Star race that Denny wishes he was not racing in. It will be at 5:30 p.m. on FS1. They're going to have the open and then the fan vote. If you haven't voted in the fan vote, make sure to go vote for that. Carson Hocevar, I have been voting for you every day. I go in, I think it's 4 votes I'm allowed. I give all 4 of my votes to you because you've had the best campaign ever. Like, it's just been phenomenal what you've done to earn your votes. The other, Bowman hadn't done anything. Noah is just Noah, so he'll get some votes. Bubba made the top 5 on the fan votes. I think Bubba will probably get it. Corey LaJoy made the top 5 as well. So I think it's going to come down between Bubba and Hocevar. I got my fingers crossed. Yeah. I hope Bubba goes out, wins the Open, and makes his way in. And I hope Hocevar gets voted in. That's where I'm at right now.
Yeah, I think Bubba's going to get it just because he's been.
Yeah, I think he's got a bigger fan base. So.
Yeah.
Even his haters might vote for him. So other than that, that's really all we got this week.
Yeah.
Thanks to everyone who listens, watches the show, and shares us on social media. Make sure you follow us on X. We are at Car Backwards. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out all our videos. Check us out on Spotify. Follow us and rate us there. Subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts and leave us a review like Brandon did. When you leave a review, it helps other people find the show. Give us a like and subscribe to us on YouTube Music as well. If you feel the need, you're more than welcome to email us. We're racecarbackwardspod@gmail.com. And make sure to check out Designs by Sydney and support all her work. Other than that, thanks everybody. Y'all have a great week. Bye.